is the print. In the old day, it will be a slide that will be printed as a ciruclation, in my case, as a color photograph, or before it was black and white lab. This is a ciruclation from a picture of 1988. Very glossy, very nice. That's the final exhibition object made out of this series, Les Braves Touristes. They were framed and they were be hung in an exhibition space, very often with picture of the same size, making series. This is, I think, my first exhibition of photo with a 30 by 40 ciruclation, an exhibition in a cafe in Copenhagen. How to exhibit those ciruclation? So they could be on the wall, but they could be framed, of course. And here is in Paris is my wife making a performance with me where we do an exhibition about the tourist behavior in India in 1988. And then after the exhibition, which is mobile, we ask some contribution of the passenger, some money. That was a way of exhibiting them. So it could be also, this is at FIAC in Paris, previous art fairies, or a bit like a biennalist within the context of the art event. Here it's a ciruclation print in a frame, and I'm working with this print with the accompaniment of a text and also a tape recorder, which was a sound installation. Then I will walk and do an installation like this. That was a way to show the photo print. But later on, I consider that the photo print was a lot of investment and demanding. Also, it was very a consumer art. To make this ciruclation, to have the frame, to have the capacity to store them, was not such a freedom process. Even so, I like very much photography. I will consider that this was an authentic way of working. So you have a painting here where I write, I nearly stop photography, and you see a camera on the table, and I look very sad. It's a moment of transition where slowly I'm going to go another way which means the use of family photo as print, as artwork. Where is the print? Where is the artwork? At the end, what do we obtain for exhibiting? You can, of course, exhibit ID, leave on ID, but for an exhibition, unless it's empty, unless it's unmaterial, there is things to see and things in the exhibition. Here, it's also, again, some ciruclation, which I take off my exhibition in Belarus at the What About Tourism exhibition. I take the ciruclation out, and then it's written on an A4 piece of paper. Why should I change? It's written in my bag, because I'm going to take down those photo to pass to another way. In this exhibition, I will show the amateur photo from the series Tourist in Thailand instead of my photo ciruclation. Slowly, there is also a use of publishing or having those photos printed, not by paying and going to a photo lab, but get them printed into media. I will start this way of doing artwork, printing on media. Here we got one printed, and we are very happy. We exhibit it in our room. But what is a good print of a photo? If you go to a photo lab, you can adjust a bit more blue, a bit more contrast, a bit more this, a bit more that. You can have a choice of how to print your photo, which size, which paper, which color, and then maybe which frame. Then those questions I had before with my ciruclation will be asked about printing in the newspaper. In that case, that picture of the highway, the Autobahn, in a story I published in the newspaper Politiken, was more or less done to be blue. But which kind of blue? If you buy your newspaper in the north of Denmark, you get a different print than if you buy it on the Jutland side of Denmark. Because the printing machine change a bit the ink, the color, there is some slightly change into the printed. What is a good print? If I was a cibachrome photograph doing or C-print now, how do I tune my picture? That's a question that Le Gray could ask in the old day, using the same picture and trying different tone of printing. I will push that experiment or that question further, because by going to the printing house of this newspaper, I could even push it to a red sky. So the print, the choice of the artist is done in the printing of the newspaper. The newspaper decided the size of my artwork. They decide the size of my picture and the layout around it and stuff. So, but at the end, the work of the artist is to have it print and choose the color. But it's difficult to choose. So with my friend Morten Fries, we decide to buy a lot of the story that is out that day with different newspaper and extract them or take them out and compare the different prints color. The project was also to be transporting media to media. So for example, here in the middle, I have a picture put in the newspaper Politiken in the birthday section announcing the sport art. Later on, Weekend Avis does a story and blow up the first picture like a tree. It gets surrounded. Then some article surrounded the surrounded picture again. So it's media transport. So the framing is not to buy a piece of wood or an expensive glass. It's to get the framing by transporting the oeuvre from media to media. And that will be my exhibition that I did several times. I did it also at the Sprengel Museum in the 2002 show, showing the media transport. So this is my exhibition. And then I do some edition number of those print. I will do it in different sections. So this is the birthday section where here on the far right down, I give the definition of conclusionism. So the artwork become this piece of newspaper. And this is why this is an edition 7 of 7. So there is 7 pieces like that. Some artists will do serigraphy. Some artists will do edition of their video. I will do edition of my passage in the media. That will be actually the final aspect of that artwork. Same here. This is 1 on 10. This is the print. And this is the artwork, exactly this. I can also do an exhibition in the same way, where I exhibit how one picture goes through different publications. So you have one picture here, it's on the right wall. One picture is a small print done in cheap Photoshop. Then there is a frame cibachrome. Then this picture is published in Zoom magazine and in the catalog of the Museum of Brands. Here, it's the same picture, and later it gets also published in black and white, this time, in a Danish newspaper. So, what is the best print? As an artist, which print should I choose to hang on my wall or to be seen as a holy art thing? The photo, the print of the photo, which one to choose? But as a concept artist, I could make a choice and I could choose one of them. But somehow, what is also interesting, it's a question I am asking myself, where is located the print of that photo that were actually a slide? And then I exhibit those different circulation of the photo in one wall, and my installation is the piece and the questioning. Where is the artwork? On the left, you can see the painting. I nearly stopped photography, and you can see actually a tent, which is very, very, very early tent in this museum. Same way, I will do an exhibition. This is a museum in Holland, in Fries, Leeuwarden, the museum. I exhibit some piece of this newspaper, which are also numbered. This is the same exhibition in Holland, where I exhibit all my prints on the wall. Here it's another part of the exhibition where I show some other print. If I was Gorski, I will blown up a glossy, nice, well done printing, but I'm another kind of artist, or at that level, I exhibit my artwork is the newspaper, and the framing around it is the context of that newspaper, which has also a date. Here you have more example. This is 4 on 10. This is the interaction between sport art and moving exhibition. Different passage also here. It's a picture of me with the police around. I am on the picture, and I have a A4 moving exhibition here. So, but the artwork is also the circulation. Very early, I do exhibition of this print or passage or circulation. This is an exhibition in Isis, where I exhibit those. Later on, I think 2008, I do this exhibition, a solo show in the photographic gallery in Copenhagen called Gymnastic Mediatic, where basically my artwork are made out of this passage mediatic, and you can see some part of the wall of the exhibition. I could have 10 C backroom or 10 C prints, but then instead I will have those newspaper. So this is some details of these exhibitions, and also how things are interconnected. Later on, it will be the passage or the circulation in Google. The exhibition is visible here. I also tried to have some of my family picture circulating in some of this media, and then this is again my artwork. It's exhibit then with needles. Still from the exhibition Gymnastic Mediatic. Choose what you want to be, says this article, where I exhibit the idea of the identity. Choose the identity you want to be. One of these identity is the one of a photograph. Rue Marcel Duchamp. The artist is looking for a couple to be married. Please touch. Seven on 7, conclusionisme, détail. There is some text about it in Stratégie d'existence about this, transporting the oeuvre from media to media. So this text in these small books explain, in 1996 is the book published, that way of working. Here you can see this is a tourist in Thailand. 4 pictures selected from this window cleaner. It appears in the media, and then it's all this circulate. This is from the small book. There is also the project Mediatic Postcard. This is the wall at the Sprengel Museum 2002, where it is shown some of this newspaper as the exhibition. Those newspapers could be framed, they could be blown up, and so on. But at that time, it was an edition print.
Trip from Politiken, hippie people section, to Weekend Avis newspaper at the media section, to my raincoat, which is a media as well. And this is going to be for you a media trip.
So this was from so picture can be in a book.
Hi, Christian. I'm going to show you the project Gymnastic Mediatic.